Alright. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. My name is Randy Fouse, and welcome to the sixth, inshallah, final class in that series of foundational classes dealing with the three-letter Arabic word, looking at the fundamentals of morphology before we move on to the verbs that go beyond the three-letter root. In the previous class, we actually took several verbs and we took them through all of the forms as practice. What we want to do now is we're going to take a surah from the Quran, or a part of a surah from the Quran, and we want to see if we can find some of these forms or some of these awzan that we've talked about. Specifically, we're going to focus on wazn al-fa'il and wazn maf'ul. That's what we're going to focus on. And the surah that we're going to be looking at is Surah Al-Ghashiyah. So we want to find fa'il and maf'ul in the ayat below. Now there's going to be a slight difference here. And the slight difference is that because in many of the ayats we're describing faces, then what's going to happen here is the ta marbuta is going to be added. But that really doesn't change anything. The ta marbuta just makes the word feminine, or it is how you describe a plural that is non-human or inanimate. Yeah? So maf'ul would just simply become maf'ula with the ta marbuta at the end, the same, everything else is the same. Or fa'il would become fa'ila with the ta marbuta at the end. So don't freak out with the small changes. But that's what we're looking for. So we're still looking for those same basic forms, but many of them will have a ta marbuta at the end. Alright? So let's look in the first ayat. Hal ataka hadithul ghashiyah. Yeah? Do you see anything on fa'il, wazn fa'il, or maf'ul? The first thing you should see here is ghashiyah. Yeah, ghashiyah. So we're not going to go so much into meanings, but we just want to be able to see the base verb. Yeah? If you're really interested in the meaning, then my advice would be for you to get yourself a hand-word dictionary if you don't have one, and to look it up. That's where the learning is going to happen, and that's where you're going to see your vocabulary is growing. Alright? So in order to get to the root, we have to take away what's added. So we know that the ta marbuta was added. We know that the alif was added. That alif is that small line there. So we're left with gha, shin, ya, ghashiyah. So if you wanted to look this word up in the dictionary, you would look up ghashiyah. Yeah? So ghashiyah, the name of the surah itself, is ala wazni fa'il. Alright, the next word, can you see the next word? That's right. If you said it was khashiyah, then that would be correct. Yeah? So next one we have khashiyah. So again we're going to do the same thing. Take off the ta marbuta, take off the alif, and you're left with khasha'a or khashiyah. Yeah? So you're going to look up that word in the dictionary if you're interested in the meaning, but that's the root. Next, amila. That's right. We saw amil in video number 5. So this is the feminine form of that. So you have amil, and then you have amila. Amil and amila. So we take off the ta marbuta, take off the alif, and you're left with amala or amila. After that, nasiba. That's right. So take off that alif, take off the ta marbuta, you're left with nasiba or nasaba. Yeah? What's next? That's right. Hamia. So we're going to take off the alif, take off the ta marbuta, you're left with hamia or hama. The root is not coming to mind here, but the basis is ha, mim, ya. That's what you'd be looking for. Excuse me. The next one we have aniya. Wonderful. Now we have the hamza there, we have the alif, and then we have the nun and the ya and the ta marbuta. Take off the alif, take off the ta marbuta, and you're left with hamza, nun, ya. Now outside of the Quran, it's not written that way. When you have a hamza and then that's followed by an alif, generally what you're going to have is a med, which is basically the aleph, and then the aleph symbol, and then you have like a wavy line on top of it. Yeah, that's a mud. Med. That's what you're normally going to have when you look outside of the mushaf. But in the mushaf, this is how it's written, where the hamza is written on its own, and then the aleph comes behind it. Next one. لَيْسَ لَهُمْ طَعَامٌ إِلَّا مِنْ ضَرِيعٍ. No, it's not طَعَام. That would have to be طَعِم. Remember, like we've already taken طَعِم. That's not طَعِم. That's طَعَام. So that doesn't work for us. لَا يُسْمِنُ وَلَا يُغْنِي مِنْ جُوعٍ. Again, nothing there. وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٌ. Na'ima is another one. Yeah, that's on wazn fa'il. So take off the aleph, take off the ta marbuta, and you're left with na'ima. Yeah, or na'ama. لِسَعْيِهَا رَاضِيَةٌ. Radiya, that's also on ism fa'il. That's also ala wazni fa'il. So take off the aleph, take off the ta marbuta, you're left with radiya. Radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. Yeah, I'm sure you know what radiya means. If you don't, then you'll still have to look that one up. Yes, I brought the ayat to mind, but I'm still not going to tell you. Alright, next one we have fi jannatin aliyah. Aliyah, that's also ism fa'il. Take off the aleph, take off the ta marbuta, and you're left with aliyah. Yeah, aliyah or ala. Ala, but the ya would be what you would look up in the dictionary. Ain, lam, ya. The next word we have is لا تسمع فيها لاغية. Yeah, so we have لاغية. Lam, aleph, ghain, ya, ta marbuta. Take off the aleph, take off the ta marbuta, you're left with laghiya or lagha. The next one we have, that's right, jariya. Jariya is also on wazni fa'il. We have the aleph and the ta marbuta, take those off, and you have jara or jariya. Yeah, but it would be jara is what you would see in the dictionary, but it would still be under jim ra ya. So near the end of the dictionary, not near the end of the jim ra. What's the next one we have? Alright, we've moved away from ism wazn fa'il and we're looking at wazn maf'ul now. So there's our first one, marfu'a. Now we have a mim with a fatha, and then we also have a waw, and then we also have that ta marbuta. So if we take off the mim, the waw, and the ta marbuta, we're left with rafa'a. And remember, we looked at rafa'a, if I'm not mistaken, in the second or third video. Rafa'a marfu'a. Yeah, so these words are coming back. Don't let that ta marbuta, don't let that distract you. It's the same exact word, just feminine. The next one we have mawdu'a. That's right, so we're going to take off the mim with the fatha, take off the waw in the middle, and the ta marbuta in the end, and you're left with wada'a. You're left with wada'a. The next one, masfufa. Yeah, so take off the mim, take off the waw, take off the ta marbuta, you're left with safafa, which if you have the ayn and the lam wal fi'l are both the same, then they're going to be put together with a shadda. So it'd be safa. That's what you'd look up. Safa, but in the dictionary you would look it up under safafa. Yeah. The next one we have is, and the last one that we have here is mabathutha. So here again the same point here. Take the mim with the fatha, take off the waw, take off the ta marbuta. The ayn al fi'l and the lam al fi'l are the same tha, so it becomes batha. It becomes batha. Yeah. And so here you've seen how we actually extract them from text. And again, as you read the Quran, you want to be reflecting on the Quran and its meanings, but you can also benefit linguistically from your readings of the Quran. Use that dictionary, take that handswear out, look up words, notice those forms, and I'm telling you, you will see and reap those benefits. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found the lessons beneficial. After this lesson, we will be moving on definitely, inshallah, to the other 8 verb forms. Until then, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you there.